Hey everyone, and welcome back to Coasterflix Adventures. Today I'm sharing my personal top 20 coasters I've ridden so far. These rides make the list because they stood out, whether it was speed, the layout, the theming, or pure fun factor. So if you enjoy coaster content like this, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell so you're notified every time I drop a new video, and let's get this channel growing. So, on with the list. At number 20 is Manta at SeaWorld in Orlando. It's manufactured by B&M or Bolliger and Mabillard. It has a height of 140 feet, speeds up to 56 miles an hour with a length of 3,359 feet. It includes 4 inversions, one of those being a pretzel loop, which is one of the highlights why it's on my list, as well as the water dip where the wing dips into the water towards the end of the ride with sprays coming off. Now this ride is low on my list, however there is a flying coaster that is a little bit higher in the list, which to me is far better, and I'll explain why when we get there. So next up at 19 is my only coaster on the list from Disney, and that is Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind at Epcot. This roller coaster is manufactured by Vekoma. It has a height of 83 feet, speed of up to 60 miles an hour, a length of 5,577 feet. It contains no inversions, however, it has a reverse launch and the cars spin that are controlled to show off all of the environment and that storytelling element to the ride. What's also great is the fact that when you launch, you get a different track each time, which makes it completely re-rideable. So next up at 18 is Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure at Islands of Adventure. It's manufactured by Intamin. It has speeds up to 50 miles an hour and a length of track of 5,053 feet. It also has no inversions, however, it has multiple launches, animatronics, and a drop section, as well as a spike. This coaster is a fantastic family-friendly coaster. No matter whether you go on it in the day or the night, it's incredible. The whole pre-show, the queue, everything is just exactly what Universal do so well, and it had to make it on my list. So next up at 17 is my first coaster in the UK on this list, and that is the Smiler at Alton Towers. The Smiler is manufactured by Gerstlauer. It is at 98 feet, speeds up to 52.8 miles an hour, the length of 3,838 feet, and it features 14 inversions. Now, this is the world record holder for the most inversions, but for me, it's not about the inversions. My favourite element on the ride is actually a bunny hop about halfway through, and this is definitely not one to do in the rain. It's quite painful. So yeah, it might be someone's favourite, but it isn't mine. So next up, we're sticking in the UK and Alton Towers, and that is with Wickerman. It's manufactured by GCI or Great Coasters International. It has a height of 42 feet, 43.6 miles an hour speed, lengths of 2,608 feet. It has no inversions, but one thing that is great about this is it because it's so low to the ground, because of Alton Tower's height restrictions, it makes it really intense. The flame effects on the Wickerman statue are brilliant and theming, and it's definitely not one to miss during Scarefest at night. Next up, also in the UK but moving to Thorpe Park, at 15 is the Swarm. The Swarm is manufactured by B&M and it's a wing coaster. It has a height of 127 feet, speeds up to 59 miles an hour, length of 2,543 feet, and features 5 inversions. Now, this has some brilliant near miss elements. The first drop is fantastic. If you're on the front row on the left hand side, you get some serious hang time on that first drop. The rest of the layout is really smooth and it goes through some real cool near miss elements like billboards and over the top of the station. It's definitely not one to miss and was my favourite at Thorpe Park. And we'll find out a little bit more about that one later. So next up at 14, we head back to Orlando and to SeaWorld for Mako. Mako is a B&M hypercoaster. It has a height of 200 feet, speeds up to 73 miles an hour, and a length of track of 4,760 feet. It doesn't feature any inversions, but has multiple airtime hills, which give you some serious airtime. And then as it then curves around and does a dip down into the water towards the end, it's fantastic. This is definitely one to do when you go to SeaWorld. Probably my favourite at SeaWorld, this one, and definitely not one to miss. So next up, sticking with Orlando but heading to Universal Studios, is The Revenge of the Mummy. It's manufactured by Premier Rides, speeds up to 40 miles an hour, length of track of 2,200 feet, and includes 0 inversions. Now this is a fantastic indoor thrill roller coaster. It has fire effects, projection mapping, loads of jumps, and multiple launches forwards and backwards. It's really storytelling at its best. It's one of my favourite rides at Universal, and it has been since 2004 when I was lucky enough to go as part of the rehearsals and the previews when it first opened, and it was definitely one I have to do every time I visit. So next up, sticking with Universal, but this time at Islands of Adventure, is the Incredible Hulk coaster. It's a B&M coaster. It has a height of 110 feet, speeds of 67 miles an hour, length of track of 3,700 feet, and includes 7 inversions. One of these, which probably is one of the best parts, is the launch into a 0G roll. I have been very lucky enough to be able to ride both versions of this because a few years ago it got a retrack, which is fantastic. But the original was so iconic at its time when it launched. It was one of the best coasters. It was on my top favorite at the time, and it's still definitely one up there. And again, another one has to be ridden every time you go to Islands of Adventure. So at number 11, we're heading to Busch Gardens in Tampa, and this is Fishikra. So it's manufactured by B&M, has a height of 200 feet, speeds up to 70 miles an hour, and length of 3,188 feet. It includes 1 inversion, has 2 90-degree drops and a splashdown. Now, I love Shikra. UK got the first B&M dive coaster with Oblivion, but Shikra just takes it to another level. You're held on that edge. Your legs are dangling because it's flawless. If you can get an end seat for the extra element of thrill, absolutely worth it. Next, you will drop 200 feet and into a large Immelman, then continue the rest of the layout. And if you're standing by that splashdown, you'll definitely get wet. So here we are at our top 10, and no better way to start than with Nemesis Reborn at Alton Towers. It's manufactured by B&M, has a height of 42 feet, speeds up to 50 miles an hour, and length of 2,349 feet, and includes 4 inversions. Now, Nemesis and Nemesis Reborn have a huge place in my heart. I was lucky enough to go on opening day in 1994, and then again last year when it reopened as Nemesis Reborn. This coaster has some brilliant near-miss elements, fantastic inversions, and just great theming. The old and the new. The waterfalls that have come back this year, which is great to see. They haven't got the blood in yet, but we'll see if that ever happens or not. The new elements that were added, like the helicopter, the eye on the station itself. Fantastic full package, brilliant reimagining of this coaster, and I can't wait to ride it for years to come. So next up at 9 is what was my number 1 in the UK, which is now my number 2, and that is Icon at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. It's manufactured by Mack Rides, has a height of 88.5 feet, speeds up to 52.8 miles an hour, length of 3,750 feet, and actually only 1 true inversion. Now, Icon is a fantastic coaster. When it launched in Blackpool, to me it's one of the main reasons why you go to Blackpool Pleasure Beach. The dual launches are fantastic, and then when they added the spinning car at the back a few years ago, just took it to another level. Now, if you decide to do the spin, and there's a couple of you doing it, you have to pay for it as it's an upcharge, but definitely worth doing on your own rather than as a pair. You get more spin with that one. Icon is brilliant. and definitely not one to miss if you're in the UK. So next at 8 we're heading over to California to Six Flags Magic Mountain, and that's for Twisted Colossus. It's manufactured by RMC, or Rocky Mountain Construction. It has a height of 121 feet, speeds of up to 57 miles an hour, length of 4,990 feet, and only has 2 inversions. But what's great about this is the dueling elements. So you start your ride on the blue track, racing against the green. You drop into a really tight turn, some near miss elements. There's a high five, some ejector time that then hit those brakes. You're then on the green track to go around and do it again, racing against the people that have just come on, and just absolutely fully thrilling, brilliant coaster. It was my first RMC. I was hooked and couldn't wait to do some more. So next up is Hang Time at Knott's Berry Farm. It's manufactured by Gerstlauer, has a height of 150 feet, speed of 57 miles an hour, length of 2,198 feet, and includes 5 inversions. Now, this coaster is insane. It has a vertical lift hill, and then the hold over the edge. The brakes hold you for a good 5 seconds, maybe. It feels a lot longer. And the fact that it's a lap bar, you feel like you're falling out, that then you drop into some insane inversions, some ejector time. It's just incredible. And this at night with the lighting package that follows you around the track, 100% worth doing. Brilliant coaster, and definitely worth a visit to Knott's Berry Farm to ride this one. So next up at number 6 is my number 1 in the UK, and that is Hyperia at Thorpe Park. Manufactured by Mack Rides, has a height of 236 feet, speeds up to 81 miles an hour, and a length of track of 3,265 feet with 2 inversions. This is the UK's tallest and fastest coaster. Now, this coaster I did on opening day. I was lucky enough because it closed the day after that for some downtime, which it has had, a few rollbacks and various different problems along the way. But when it's running, wow, the outbank turn and that stall is probably the best I've ever been on. Brilliant coaster and definitely not one to miss. So now we are at our top 5, and we start at Six Flags Magic Mountain with X2. It's manufactured by Aerodynamics, has a height of 175 feet, speeds up to 76 miles an hour, a track length of 3,610 feet, and includes 2 inversions. But that feels a lot more because this unique ride has rotating seats and onboard audio. Now, this ride is just insane. It's probably the most intense coaster I've ever been on, and is definitely not for the faint of heart. I remember seeing the original X ride on Roller Coaster Tycoon years ago when I used to play that. And when I first went to Six Flags Magic Mountain, I had a real emotional moment when I actually got to ride X2, because it's something I'd seen for so long and how unique it is. And I cannot stress how intense and insane it is. I think I just giggle the whole time I go around that ride, and it just sits definitely in my top 5 because one, it's just one that I've wanted to do for so long, but two, just the intensity, and I absolutely love it. Now, number 4 is our final roller coaster from Six Flags Magic Mountain, and that is Tatsu. It's manufactured again by B&M, has a height of 170 feet, speeds up to 62 miles an hour, length of track of 3,602 feet, and has 4 inversions. Now, this coaster also has the pretzel loop, and it's, I think, slightly longer length than Manta, but wow, the height of the mountain is what makes a massive difference, and that's why it is up there as one of my top coasters. I've been on this with some friends, and I think you pretty much grey out nearly every time we do that pretzel loop because of the high altitude of the mountain and that drop into that pretzel. It's so intense, and sometimes I'll go there and it's a bit too intense for me. Other times I absolutely love it, but it has to sit in my top 5. It's one of the best coasters I've been on, and I absolutely love it. So next at number 3 is back to Knott's Berry Farm, and that is Ghost Rider. It's manufactured by GCI, has a height of 118 feet, speeds up to 56 miles per hour, and length of track of 4,533 feet. It doesn't include any inversions, but has some intense drops, hills, and turns. Now, this coaster is insane. The ejector airtime, the length of track, it's, for me, the perfect wooden coaster. Here we are at number 2, and that's Iron Guazi at Busch Gardens in Tampa. It's manufactured by RMC, has a height of 206 feet, speed of 76 miles an hour, length of 4,075 feet, and includes 2 inversions. Now, this roller coaster was a reimagining of the original Guazi, which was a dueling coaster, and RMC took it over and did their best to it as well. Now, this is my second RMC I've done after Twisted Colossus, and wow, what an intense first drop. The death roll, it has a really aggressive layout and really intense. I think last time I did Busch Gardens, I did it like over 20 times, and absolutely love this coaster. It can flip-flop sometimes between my number 1, but we're going to head to that one now. So here we are at our number 1, and it has to be the Veloca Coaster at Islands of Adventure. It's manufactured by Intamin, has a height of 155 feet, speeds up to 70 miles an hour, and a length of 4,700 feet with 4 inversions. Now, this ride, from the very first time I rode it, absolutely blew me away. From that launch from 0 to 50 in just 2 seconds, weaving through the rocks and the raptor statues at heart-pounding speeds. Midway through, you hit a second launch that catapults you 70 miles an hour up the tower into a top hat at 155 feet, drop down into a weightless stall, and then round the lagoon into the Montosaurus roll, which is a 0G roll that flies straight over the water. Perfect element that ends the ride into the brake run, and it's just perfect. It's a full cinematic experience in a ride. There's animatronics throughout the queue line. You get to see elements of the ride as you queue as well, and the launch section, like the raptors chasing it. It's just the perfect elements, the perfect speeds, and the fact that they managed to mix storytelling and the movie and just theme it so well. It's just a full package for me, and it has to sit at my number 1. So there is my list of top 20 coasters I've ridden so far. This list might not stay the same for long, because we've got a trip to Epic Universe coming up where we're spending 2 whole days in the park, and I couldn't be more excited. With coasters like Starfall Racers, I would definitely think that will shake up the top 20, might even take the top spot of Velocicoaster. So beyond that, I'm hoping to visit places like Phantasialand. It's been on my bucket list for years, just haven't got out there. Efteling, Europa Park's another one. To ride rides like Taron, Fly, Voltron Navara, they're at the top of my list. Ride to Happiness, another one. So tell me, what is your favourite coaster you've ridden, and which one of these should I prioritise on my next trip? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed the countdown, make sure you give it a like, a thumbs up, and make sure you subscribe to Coasterflix Adventures and hit that bell so you don't miss out on anything that I post. Reviews, park trips, vlogs, and make sure you check out everything I've just recently done, from last year's trip to Halloween Horror Nights in Hollywood. So for now, I'll see you in the next one.